All right. Let me get that straight. Just wanted to make sure I was doing things digitally correct here. So my pen name is essentially Ethan Indigo. And people often ask me, what's up with that? What's Indigo? I adopted it through the notion that several, modern psychologists observed and put out the phrase that a lot of kids they came across were more gifted than the normal kids or their normal understanding. And they call them indigo. And indigo, the color, symbolizes higher thinking, right? If you look at the chakra system, which can be seen as a symbolic representation and also a layer to each system itself, or a layering to each system itself in the entirety. In other words, in any subject, you can be basic or you can be higher thinking. And the basic root chakra, not to say it's bad, but to bring it to its basic level, it's symbolic of red, right? Red is symbolic of the basic chakra, the basic modality. And the higher and highest thinking in the chakra system is indigo, on up from the balanced center of the heart chakra, which is green. So, indigo to me, of course, symbolizes someone who's pursuing higher thinking and engaging in higher thinking, but also trying to initiate higher thinking among others. Excuse me. But also, IND, indigo. I look at that, especially when I was putting together my first book. I was thinking Ethan Indy was another modality I was thinking, because it was obvious I was going to be independent. And furthermore, actually that represents what I'm trying to shine with the idea of indigo. And indigo is an individual independent of institutions, pursuing individuation. Right? So, an independent individual pursuing individuation. Most people, let's be honest, most people are seeking institutionalization, because that's a much more secure place. You don't have to do internal work when you go through institutionalization. So, most people would rather not be independent and rather not pursue individuation, but be part of the collective and pursue institutionalization. So that's another thing that indigos like to do, is essentially slap people with facts. And that really provides a great platform of independence, because neither side agrees with you. And the tendency is for there to be two main sides. And each of these two main sides like to put forth that there are only two sides, because this limitation enables their existence in the first place. With the matrix of four, this has been coming up a lot. People like to, like I say, people like to put forth A or B, and then mix it up with the third aspect of the Hegelian dialectic, which is a combination, A-B. Instead of A or B, they put together A-B. But indigos operate in the fourth aspect of this limiting triad that's presented. Indigos operate in X to rock the boat and flip the script. So, what is an indigo? An indigo is pursuing higher thinking that is anti-establishmentarian, contrarian, anti-authoritarian, and all that. And it often results in not really having a side, right? Because most people are going to be on some A or B, right? And those two groups tend to think that nuanced thinking is A-B, and it's X, right? So, in reference to the Hegelian dialectic, people like to think it's thesis or antithesis. And then the nuanced modality is synthesis. And that's as far as they go. But the higher modality, the indigo aspect, is going to be nullicis. None of that. Excuse me while I take a sip of coffee. So I'm about to finish a little piece, which may turn into a bigger piece, titled Indigo Awakening. And I'll just say, like a lot of things in the world today are, I wouldn't say flipped on their head, but smashed on their head, right? Because not only have we flipped it, which is actually good. I like that, right? Like let's flip the status quo, but there's no reason to smash in the process. And I mean that metaphorically, not literally. So, Indigo Awakening. I'm gonna come out with that real soon. But we see a lot of things flipped so much that now, my main point of this thesis is that now, not only are things flipped, but simple observations, simple understandings, and things that we take for granted as being simple understandings, whereas we can then go from there to present nuances and contrasts and so forth, or differing, divergent opinions and understandings. These are ruined in the wake of that flip, right? So just simple understandings have been completely shuttered over, to where now when the nuance comes around, it gets perpetuated or acted out in a way that is really hyper ignorant, right? And So a lot of things on what we should have gotten out of the way a long time ago, like understandings of basic biology and sociology, have been really scuttlebutted and ruined. So, what is an indigo? An indigo, just like the chakra system represents, is in that higher thinking, essentially a way to present that idea is that red is really dark and hard to see through. Green of the heart chakra is very balanced and integrative and pleasant, right? Just like the natural environments. And higher thinking, green also being balance and so forth, and higher thinking is represented by this most clear color, right? Very, very purple and light. So indigos are pursuing, just as the chakra system puts forth higher thinking, and pursuing to flip the script, even if it's through simple observations. So about to drop some simple indigo observations here real soon. I hope this helps you explain to people what an indigo is, and I hope you'll maybe take a peek at some of my writing if you happen to appreciate the indigo ideas. And I'm gonna fade out here because Spreaker gives me about 15 minutes, so I got that out in 13. And one love, zero hate, infinite potential.